feel it? Yeah, getting closer. Maybe the dog days of summer now, but a return to racing is getting closer and closer. And a good Saturday morning to you, and welcome to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. Racing radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. I'm your host, Mike Stanhope, and thank you for joining us today. Hey, we're going to be visiting here in just a little bit with Cocopah Speedway Street Stock Driver Pat Stuebs. Stuebs looking to get back in the fray in a big way when the season resumes in September. First, though, more summer break travel for Cocopah Speedway Racing Series regulars visiting and racing at out-of-town tracks. And it was a trip to Victory Lane last Saturday night at Verona for Cole Dick and his 77D IMCA Modified. The Ramona-based driver, who's become a regular fixture at Cocopah Speedway, picked up a second-place finish in his heat at Verona, which resulted in a number 8 starting position for the feature. Dick took the green with 15 other cars, maintained his position for the first several laps, and then a big move on lap number 8, going from 8th to 1st, and then running away to take the feature win. Since May, that's 3 wins at Verona for the 77D, coupled with a recent win at Paris. Meanwhile, last Saturday, a big contingent of Yuma and Imperial-based drivers were on the road to Casa Grande and Central Arizona Raceway. 7 drivers in all, making the tow over. For some of them, 2 races in one night, as the evening started with makeup features from a rainout 2 weeks prior. And perhaps the most impressive showing was that of Yuma's Joey Essery in his number 90. Driving in the pure stocks, Essery picked up a 12th place finish in that makeup feature. And then in the night's regular show, Essery came out of the 5-hole in his heat to pick up a second. And then finally in the feature, 10th out of a field of 26 cars for the starting position. Essery steadily worked his way up to take a 5th place finish in the feature. Also racing in the pure stocks, CAR, Rick Hibbard and his number 4, Hibbard taking a 15th place finish in the makeup feature. Mechanical issues kept him out of that later show. Well, 2 Yuma drivers also brought out their Northern Sport mods to compete in the X mods at CAR. James Dupree in his number 84 picked up an 8th place finish in the makeup event, while in the regular show, well, some struggles as Dupree picked up a 4th in his heat and then a 16th in the feature after starting out of the 11 slot. Also competing in the X mods, Timmy Reese and his number 34. Some success early in the regular show as Reese came out of the 8-hole to take 3rd in his heat. From there, Reese started 5th in the feature, made an early move to 4th, but then misfortune striking as the leader spun in front of the field, collected up Reese's car, resulting in a broken steering box. Reese officially got the 21st place finish. And finally, in the IMCA Modifieds at CAR, Yuma's John Malloy in the number 17 was in action. Brawley's Russell Allen in the number 23R and Imperial's Lance Maury in the 19SB, also a part of a 32-car field. Starting out of the number 6 lot, Maury picked up a 3rd in his heat, getting a direct transfer into the A feature, from which, starting outside row number 6, Maury raced off to an 11th place finish. Malloy, meanwhile, picked up an 8th in his heat. That resulted in a trip to the B feature. Malloy, starting outside row 8, raced up to take a 9th place finish, just one shy of making the transfer to that A feature. And right behind Malloy in that B feature was Allen in the 23R, taking 10th at the finish. Allen took that finish despite a couple of dives into the pits for mechanical issues. He had earlier picked up an 8th in his heat. Well, some more cars coming together for the second half of the season at Cocopah Speedway. Bill Miller in the process of wrapping up work on his number 35 IMCA Modified. Not a brand new car, but a substantial rebuild nevertheless, biggest part being a complete reclip of the rear end with an assist from the Keith Tabor shop on reskinning that car. And as noted last week, it's also a new number 87 street stock for Captain Henry B. That car now under full compliance with the IMCA stock rules as part of the ongoing transition to IMCA stock sanction. And Captain might be making that trip over to Central Arizona for race action tonight. Also planning on race action tonight at CAR, Lance Maury and the 19SB, along with Jason Knoll in the number 44 MRT team car. And there's word, too, of at least a couple of new drivers aiming to debut at Cocopah Speedway for the season's second half. Nothing official as of yet, but we will, of course, be passing that along as soon as we get the word. A lineup's now set for the IMCA Fast Shafts All-Star Invitational coming up September 6th at Boone Speedway. 28 drivers in all voted in during the recent nationwide voting. Several who made their mark at Cocopah Speedway earlier this year during the IMCA Modified Winter Nationals. Among them, Dylan Smith, Ricky Thornton Jr., two-time All-Star winner Jay Noteboom, William Gould, and Jesse Sobbing, of course, who won all three features in the Winter Nationals in his Crepe Motor number 99. That full lineup available on imca.com. And finally, we'd be remiss without taking note of the Knoxville Nationals, which wrap up tonight with a $150,000 to win feature. Some exciting action last night as 5 drivers earned spots in tonight's feature. Kyle Larson taking the A feature win last night, and Australian Brooke Tatnell later winning the World Challenge to claim the number 25 provisional starting spot in tonight's feature. 4 more drivers will get the chance to race their way in today for the championship finale tonight at Knoxville. Maybe summer break, but the work's ongoing at Cocopah Speedway. Prep underway for a new load of clay to be worked into the racing surface. Tons and tons of it. That grooming process set to be complete in plenty of time for the resumption of the 2013 season on September 28th. And as we noted before, the new pit store at Cocopah Speedway also near completion. Gonna be an absolutely cool place with parts, food, souvenirs, and more for both competitors, crews, and fans who spend time in the pits on race nights. And as the summer break continues at Cocopah Speedway, we'll continue to pass along news and notes on drivers from all 5 divisions who call Cocopah Speedway home. Well, coming up next, we're set to visit with Cocopah Speedway Street Stock Driver Pat Stuebs, some season review, and a look ahead to racing again in September at Cocopah Speedway. You're listening to Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating.
Did you know several of the drownings the last few years have been alcohol-related? I'm Lieutenant Darren Simmons with the Yuma County Sheriff's Office, asking you to remember that using alcohol while boating or swimming is asking for trouble. Use of alcohol can cause you to lose your concentration, misjudge distances, and operate a boat in an unsafe manner. Don't drink if you plan to swim, boat, or drive, as it will impair your judgment. This message is brought to you by Z93 and Outlaw Country, because community matters.
The Yuma Police Department averages 40 vehicle versus pedestrian accidents a year. That's 40 too many.
We ask the driver to drive aware, the pedestrian to walk with care. Because the moment you're not aware of your surroundings could be your last moment.
Drive aware, walk with care.
August 4th through September 28th, break the bank at Cocopah Casino, and you can walk away with $20,000 in cash. Earn entries by playing your favorite slots, bingo, and table games. Every 20 points gets 1 entry. Weekly drawings every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, and winners are entered into the grand prize drawing on September 28th for $20 grand in cash. Want to increase your chances of winning the grand prize? Come in every Tuesday through Saturday and earn 3 grand prize entries during our hot seat drawing. $20,000 in cash. It's your chance to break the bank at Cocopah Casino. Live the rush.
Perfect to the letter. You just can't do better.
Summer's here. Are you ready to spruce up that boat or watercraft? SignPro can provide boat letters and custom graphics. Click your best on the lake or river and make a splash. Visit SignPro for your free estimate.
You just can't do better. The SignPro sign. A letter comes to SignPro.
Okay, so people were daydreaming about where to put the new parks, and when I mentioned they needed to check with the city's community planning division, one of them sarcastically said, planning? As if the city doesn't need trained professionals to make sure a plastic factory doesn't go next door to a daycare center.
The Community Planning Division meets with customers, handles requests for rezoning and subdivisions, and addresses needed changes to the zoning and subdivision codes. Long-range planning staff prepares updates to the general plan, including new or revised policies to guide the city's growth. Staff reviews and processes over 200 land use applications annually and meets with customers in over 400 pre-development meetings. The planners provide staff support to the Planning and Zoning Commission, the Hearing Office, and Design Review Committee. They are responsible for the general plan, the Bike Facilities Master Plan, and Historic North End Corridor Plan, all of which you can read on the city's website, yumaaz.gov, or call Community Planning at 373-5175. More information at yumaaz.gov/community development.
Crossroads Mission serves over 300 meals a day, and they're running low on many food items. There are days when Crossroads doesn't have enough meat, bread, or milk to feed those who come to them for help. Their wish list includes chicken, pork, roast beef, turkey, ground beef, tuna, eggs, and milk. Please drop off items at the Crossroads Kitchen, 944 South Arizona Avenue. If you'd like to organize a food drive, please call Barbara Rochester at 580-4482. Community Matters to Z93 at Outlaw Country.
And welcome back to Racing Radio. It's Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And in studio with us now, it's Cocopah Speedway Street Stock Driver Pat Stuebs, driver of the number 4. And welcome to the show, Pat.
Thanks for having me.
Well, glad you could come in and visit with us today, Pat. Hey, what's been going on during your summer break so far?
Well, we've been just kind of prepping the car for September 28th. We've kind of gone through the car front to back and painted the car, and just preparations for the first race, going through setup and things like that.
You operated on somewhat of a limited schedule during the first half of the 2013 season, and we are into summer break now. You had some nice runs during the first half. In terms of getting the car ready for the second half of the season, you hoping to be able to be out more during the second half?
Right, well, we had 2 runs in the new car, in the IMCA legal car. And really the biggest break that I took was a transition period between the Camaro or the street stock car and the stock car. And my plan, if everything goes right and the way I have the schedule down, is to not miss a show in the second half of 13.
And that's somewhat of a challenge for you because you've got a pretty heavy job requirement also.
Right. I'm a power plant operator, and it's 24/7 operation, and when the phone rings, you have to answer it. So racing definitely isn't. Racing's kind of number 3, family, job, and then we'll go racing.
Well, Pat, you're essentially about 3.5 years in on racing career. Can you kind of take us through the origins of what got you started and how you feel about the progression you've made so far?
Well, just like so many other guys that have historically been involved in racing here in Yuma, when Cocopah Speedway opened, we were all sitting in the stands the first night. And you start talking amongst yourselves and convincing the wife that it's a good idea and that it won't take a whole lot of time and that it's an affordable hobby, and one thing led to another. But the real key factor to getting me out there was Mike Martin and Chad Harry, the owners of Ultimate Off-Road. I don't own a shop. I'm not in a business where I can work on my race car in my shop during the day, and approached them and said, hey, if you'll support me, I think we could do something, and both of them hopped on board right away, and they're still with me today, helping in every aspect of my program. So we went and found a car, got the car home, bought a turnkey car, and like so many other things in life, realized that it was not the right car. It was outside of the boundaries of the rules. It was more of a pro stock car with a stock body on it, and made the decision that it wasn't worth the work and time it would take to convert it. So we put something together and found another car, and this time the other way. It was a pure stock car, very stock Camaro racing out of Tucson. Bought it and spent countless hours kind of converting it up to a street stock. So, lessons learned, and we put it together, and on February of 2011 fielded the car for the first time, and it's been on from there.
How do you feel you progressed from that period, from 2011 up through the early parts of 2013? Because that's the point at which you then sold that car.
Correct. Well, there's no replacement for experience. And no matter how many times you watch a race, you think you know what it's going to be like, you think you know what it takes and how to operate a car, it's 100% different, at least it was for me. So the learning has been steep, but progression-wise, I'm a whole lot more comfortable in the car. Routine during the week has all come together as a solid plan, so that's kind of taken care of now. So I'm relatively happy where we are. I wish I wouldn't have missed as many races as we have, but that's life.
Indeed, it is. Let's talk a little bit more about the new car that you've put together and again are working on during summer break, getting set for the second half. That got you into the IMCA stock rules a little bit earlier than a lot of the other drivers who are now starting to bring out new cars also.
Right. When the rule change was announced, I knew I had to do something, and it was either stick with the Camaro, and no matter what, you're going to put money into that car, or just make the conversion early. We kicked around sport mod or stock car, and what I eventually decided to stay with was the stock car, partly because I enjoy the people that race in that class, and the sport mod deal was, not in concrete yet as far as who's going to do it, how many cars there are going to be. So I searched around. I must have talked to 30 different people, and I found this car out of Texas, went and picked it up, and it was ready to go. IMCA legal from the moment I purchased it. So really it's just been going through the car, adjustments and things to make myself more comfortable in it. And that's where we are today. That's where I'm still headed today.
As we talk about at the top of each program each week during this summer break, we're seeing a lot of Cocopah Speedway regulars on the road maintaining seat time over the summer. That's something you had hoped to do, or just not in the cards in terms of work commitments?
Well, it's something that I had hoped to do, and just like you said, work commitments are tough, but I still want to go on September 14th to CAR just to shake the car down. I've made some changes, like I said, make sure it's mechanically sound, and I'm hoping we can pull that off.
We're visiting with Pat Stuebs, driver of the number 4 street stock at Cocopah Speedway, and here on Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live. We are, of course, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. We'll resume our conversation with Pat in just a moment.
Hi, this is Joe Montaigne. Every time my Uncle Willie tells me about his service in Patton's Third Army in World War II, I'm reminded of what we owe the U.S. Army. 14 generations of American soldiers who have courageously defended our nation. Their stories represent the best of America and should never be forgotten. Join me to help build the National Museum of the United States Army, a long overdue tribute to all American soldiers. To learn more, visit ArmyHistory.org.
You can help the Army Historical Foundation honor the soldiers of yesterday and today. Go to ArmyHistory.org to learn how you can help build the National Museum of the U.S. Army. The museum will be the Army's national landmark, preserving the sacrifice of every man and woman who has worn the Army uniform since 1775. Visit ArmyHistory.org today and honor the Army service of every generation. This message is brought to you by Z93 and Outlaw Country.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. My webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
No matter what type of air conditioning or heating help you need, schedule some help from 1 Hour Air Conditioning. Ready for the season? 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating can help. No AC at all? 1 Hour can help. Need help upgrading your old inefficient system? 1 Hour can help. Now's the time to schedule your annual air conditioning safety inspection for just $59. Call 1 Hour today at 783-4242. Some limitations and exclusions apply.
We're always on time.
The public is invited to attend a meet and greet for candidates for Yuma City Council on Thursday, August 15th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. The meet and greet will be held at the Martin Luther King Youth Career Center at 300 South 13th Avenue. This is a great opportunity to meet and learn about the candidates. If you'd like more information, please call Gilbert at 210-7895, 210-7895. The City Council meet and greet is brought to you by the Yuma, Colorado Tea Party.
The
Yuma Community Biker Fund presents the Hot August Nights Fun Run on Saturday, August 24th. Registration will be held from 5 to 6 p.m. at Bobby's Territorial Harley-Davidson on Gila Ridge Road. You'll receive a ticket from each stop to qualify for the grand prize. The last stop will be LZ Bar and Grill. All drawings will begin at 8:30 p.m. and you must be present to win. The grand prize is $100. The proceeds from the Hot August Nights Fun Run will benefit all motorcycle riders who are involved in an accident in Yuma County. Come on out for a great time and support a good cause at the same time. It's the Hot August Nights Fun Run, Saturday, August 24th. See you there.
Listening to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And in studio with us again this morning, Pat Stuebs, driver of the number 4 Street Stock. And Pat, talked about the limited schedule that you ran in the first half of the season, and you noted definitely hoping to make all of the races in the second half. Do you have specific goals beyond just wanting to be out for each race?
Well, certainly, constant improvement is the top goal. Of course, I want to be in victory lane. I mean, that's why we all race. I'd like to win a main event. But you look at the lineup that's showing up for stock car races now. It's the stock car class at Cocopah Speedway. The 3 top guys right now, the 7, 77, and 81, they're extremely fast. The only reason I don't mention the 35 in there is because he's in a new program, but wouldn't surprise me if Adolfo came out and got it done the first weekend back. Captain Henry, brand new car, and he's excited as anybody. The 90, Joey's been out of town all summer long, so just breaking into the top 5 is going to be an accomplishment, I think. But if we can just keep going forward, get more comfortable in the car, and ultimately, or the pinnacle would be a main event win.
You just mentioned several of the fellows that you race against in the stock division out at Cocopah Speedway, and something that strikes me, and I just love seeing this, is the friendship amongst you guys, and perhaps as much as any racer that I know within the group of the street stock drivers, you really carry on a really cool relationship with a lot of these guys and really stay up on what they all individually are doing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when it's 105 degrees out, we go to the racetrack 2 hours early just so we can sit under the shade and sweat and hang out with each other. I mean, Dave Amos, probably one of the reasons why I'm so interested in racing today. Helped him as a young high school kid and learned a lot from him, and all the other guys that I just mentioned. And it's a good group of guys, and I don't think if we didn't get along so good, I don't know if I'd even be doing it, to tell you the truth.
Well, let's talk about another friendship. You mentioned Mike Martin and Ultimate Off-Road earlier, and of course Mike was here with the USAC CRA Sprint Cars earlier this year, among other appearances at Cocopah Speedway. Still involved with his operation at all, and is driving a sprint car something you might like to do?
Well, am I really involved in his operation as far as the road show part? No. Family and work, that's ended a long time ago. We spent many years together on the road. His program is better today than ever. He's putting people in cars now, and he's got a national win, and he came out of the dark ages and got himself on Facebook, which is absolutely huge for him. So he's doing real well.
Well, glad to hear that. Let's talk your own goals a little bit more. We talked about goals for second half of the season, but want to look a little bit further out, say 3 years out, 5 years out. Where do you foresee yourself?
I just want to be involved somehow. I don't really have a plan as far as where I'm going to go. Just like most guys that race on dirt, I'd love to be in an A-mod someday, but it's definitely not something that I'm working towards. I love the stock car class. I think that's going to be a fan favorite if it's not already. So the answer to that is I want to be involved somehow. I just not sure where.
Want to be racing, hopefully, behind the wheel of a race car.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so cool to think about what we saw during the first half of the season in the street stocks out at Cocopah Speedway, and you had a front row view for part of that. Absolutely off the hook action, and I can remember saying on more than one occasion, there's no way they can top what they did last week, and then you guys would go out and do it again.
Right. Like you said, front row seat. It's the best seat in the house, really. You never know what to expect, and since I've been in the car, the development of the class has even come further. You've got guys door to door. One mistake, as we saw in one race before the break, and you're from first to third, and you've given up the win, and someone else takes it. So it's really exciting stuff, and I'm really glad to be part of it.
Any particular inspirations to you from a driving standpoint, whether a local driver or somebody at the national level?
Not really a specific person, but if you know me well enough, you know I love sprint car racing. There's a reason for that, the intensity level. I just posted a video up the other day, and you watch these guys drive these cars, and you watch the battle for 6th or 7th place, and it's as fierce as it is for the lead. So just racers in general are my inspiration. What it takes to get to the front and be successful is what I like to see.
I was going to make note of this at the end of the program, but of course we pass along best wishes this morning to Tony Stewart, to recovering from surgery from the broken leg that he suffered Monday in a sprint car crash. But that kind of comes back to, hey, he wants to be behind the wheel of a race car and is going to do what he's got to do it.
Absolutely. And all week I've been waiting for him to call and put me in the seat, and it hasn't happened yet, so I do wish him well.
Well, we're going to keep our fingers crossed that you get that call. Hey, I know it takes a lot of people, both individuals as well as businesses, to get you behind the wheel of a race car and get you out on track.
Right. Well, like I mentioned, Ultimate Off-Road, without them, I just flat out wouldn't be doing this. Technical support, facility support, you name it. Family Cleaners helps us out, keeps the suit clean, great locally owned business. And, of course, family. Without my wife, Whitney, wouldn't be possible. My 4 daughters, Kaylin, Taylor, Lexi, and Braylee, always there. I got to thank the Williams family, my wife's parents, for watching the kids so we can go racing. Whitney's in the pits with us every weekend. My dad, my brother, my nephew Michael, my brother-in-law Kyle, they're really the core of the crew. Without them, what would I do? I couldn't do this. And then one other person, a guy, former co-worker, excellent friend, hasn't missed, I don't think he's missed one race, Dave Burgess. He's retired now, comes out to the races. We've made a fan out of him. I got to thank him also.
I'll tell you what, I want to thank you for being part of our racing family here in Yuma, because you just talked about family so wonderfully, and it's so wonderful to have you as a part of it.
Thank you.
We wish you best of luck in the second half of 2013 in the street stocks out at Cocopah Speedway, Pat.
Thank you.
And thanks again for being on with us this morning. Pat Stuebs, one more time, driver of the number 4 street stock and looking for action, which kicks back off in 2013, September 28th, out at the Diamond in the Desert. Hey, some other happenings ongoing around the complex of facilities that include Cocopah Casino and Cocopah Speedway. And here once again to tell us more about them this morning, Anna Corpus. And good morning to you, Anna.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me again. It's great to be here. Tonight at Cocopah Casino, Mexican music sensation Los Muecas perform inside the River Room. Los Muecas have been topping the Latin charts with romantic ballads since the 70s. Doors open at 8 p.m. and tickets are $10. Also on Saturday, get out your dancing shoes. It's Latin night at Wild River. Dance lessons between 8 and 10 p.m. And then DJs JR and KM7 mix your favorite Latin songs from 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. And all this month at Cocopah Real Colorado Golf Course and Grill, golf 9 holes with a cart and lunch, all for $15. Remember, draft beer is only $1. You can check out Rio's Facebook for event updates. Rio is open from dawn until 1 p.m. And the 2013-2014 dove hunting season kicks off Labor Day weekend. It begins 1/2 hour before sunrise on September 1st and ends at sunset on September 15th. Tickets go on sale August 22nd and are $60. They can be purchased at Cocopah Gift Shop, our administration office, or Sprague Sports in Yuma. For more information, call 928-627-2102 or check out cocopah.com. That's it for this weekend. See you next weekend.
All righty, Anna, we'll look forward to that. Hey, information on all of those items and more, of course, available at cocopah.com, as just noted. And, of course, information of a more specific nature related to racing, that's available on the Internet, too, at www.cocopahspeedway.com. And, hey, make sure you like us on Facebook. Summer break, it may be on, but the racing news, well, as we note each week, it never stops. And we will, of course, be here to bring it all to you as we continue to close in just 7 Saturdays away now from the kickoff to the second half of the 2013 season. You've been listening to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. Our thanks again to Pat Stuebs for joining us on the program this morning. Hey, we'll be looking forward to seeing you back next Saturday morning, 11 a.m. here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400.